Rolling Stone magazine did a terrible job covering an alleged gang rape out of University of Virginia. Now, they trusted one source for the entire story, which is why this story is an absolute and utter disaster. It does not mean that the gang rape did not happen. At this point, we don't know. But one thing that we do know is that this is a case of irresponsible journalism, and the editor of Rolling Stone magazine has admitted that there were some issues with this article written. Now, the article was titled "A Rape on Campus" by Sabrina Rubin Erdely. And again, they only trusted one source for this story, a girl that goes by the name of Jackie, and she's the alleged victim of this gang rape. She had alleged that she went to a fraternity party with someone she was dating at the time, and that she was led upstairs to a room, and then 7 men proceeded to gang rape her. Now, there were some inconsistencies in the story, there were some discrepancies in the story, and they have also acknowledged that they did not speak to any of those who were accused for the story, just Jackie. So let me give you some more information. According to the New York Times, the magazine's managing editor, Will Dana, wrote that there appear to be discrepancies in the description of the brutal gang rape in the article, A Rape on Campus by Sabrina Erdely. Mr. Dana said he now feels that the magazine made a mistake in agreeing to Jackie's request that it not seek to corroborate her story about the rape on September 28th, 2012. So that's a disaster. Why would you agree to that? I mean, you are supposed to put out news that is as accurate as possible. If you don't make sure that her story is true, then you shouldn't publish it.
Yeah. Now, he explains in the next quote why they did that, but he also explains why it was wrong.
We were trying to be sensitive to the unfair shame and humiliation many women feel after a sexual assault, and now regret the decision to not contact the alleged assaulters to get their account. We are taking this seriously and apologize to anyone who was affected by this story.
I'm actually really shocked at the poor level of journalism here, because Rolling Stone has done some
really great journalism.
Stories. Yeah. Among the best in the dark years of the powerful getting away with everything. I mean, the Taibis and the Michael Hastings and stuff. I mean, as good as journalism it gets. To have somebody say, look, I'm going to tell you my account, but since I feel sensitive about it, for understandable reasons, you shouldn't talk to the other side. Obviously, you can't agree to that. Obviously, right? You can agree to it and then not run the story, say we feel terrible for you, we understand you don't want us to talk to them. But you named the fraternity. People know who are in the fraternity. You didn't give them a chance to respond, and you accused them of gang rape.
I mean,
of course you had to ask them if they did it. Of course, I mean, that's crazy.
That's journalism 101. Phi Kappa Psi was accused of throwing an event where this gang rape happened. It turns out that on the night that she alleged that the event happened, there was no fraternity-sponsored event, okay? So that's a really big issue. Also, she gave descriptions of people that aren't part of the fraternity at all. They've done their own investigation. They're like, no one fits the description that she keeps mentioning.
She says somebody worked at a campus pool. No one at the fraternity works at a campus pool. And look, and by the way, this doesn't mean that nothing happened, but you'd have to actually investigate, right? And see if it did. You can't just take somebody's word for it.
Now, the reporter who wrote the story hasn't apologized yet. However, the last time she spoke to the press, here's what she had to say. I am convinced that it could not have been done any other way or any better. And she also suggested that the debate about the veracity of the article stood only to divert attention from the real scandal, a crime that had not been sufficiently investigated. Look, if you haven't spoken to the other side and your story has a clear lack of balance, and you refuse to acknowledge that, I don't know if you're really cut out to be a journalist. Maybe that's a harsh thing to say, but you can't stand by work like that. You have to look at both sides.
Yeah, and look, what we're really worried about is that people will then dismiss it entirely. First of all, if you think this actually happened, you've done a great disservice in this particular case. Because now nobody will do what we just said, where I said, well, we don't know what happened. It might have happened. It doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? Almost everybody will say, and is in the middle of saying all over the internet right now, it obviously didn't happen. Because you didn't corroborate it and you didn't check both sides, people are now assuming it didn't happen at all, right? So if all you cared about was making sure you got justice for her, it has been wildly counterproductive, right?
It has.
If you truly believe that. And then the second thing is it's been counterproductive overall, because now people, every time there's a rape charge, people are like, oh yeah, I remember that story out of UVA. Yeah, it's always BS, right? Oh, remember the lacrosse players out of Duke? They were innocent. No, they're always making up charges.
I know, it really is a disservice to the real rape survivors out there who are looking for justice.